Hi class, Blake Hallman here for HOS 157 Hospitality Customer Service. This is one of my favorite courses to teach because the subject matter is so real world. So few businesses that I interact with, past and present, do a good job. So when I do interact with a business that does a good job, I remember that and it stands out in my mind. You do a good job in this field and you and your business will stand out as well. You'll find out that my class is very straightforward. I don't believe in a lot of fluff. I want you to get some basics out of this class. How to map the path of the customer throughout your business to be able to plan to prevent issues before they arise. Is your website clear? Are there directions on there? Can I get a gift certificate clearly and easily? Is your parking lot clean? Is the sign updated? Are all the light bulbs working there? Are there fingerprints clean off of your front door? Are the bathrooms clean and checked every hour? Does the host know their job? Is the waiter updated on the specials and the 86 list? Does the front desk staff know how to upsell and recognize issues? And are they empowered to fix things? Walk the path of the customer through your business and plan on how you will fix things when they arise. So instead of being a punching bag, you end up being the fix-it person. I'm happy to take care of that. I'm pleased to make sure this is fixed. My job's to make you happy. Let me make you happy. And what you end up doing is becoming a much more positive role in the business. I'm fixing these issues when they do pop up on occasion versus always apologizing profusely on your knees. I have never believed in the concept that the customer is always right. The customer needs to be happy enough to want to return, but that does not mean that they're always right. And you will read in the text their perspective on apologizing. Your company will very likely have a policy on that. My policy is that I don't apologize unless I hurt a customer physically, like pouring soup on them or bumping them, or they're upset emotionally because their chicken wings seem smaller than last time. If they're really fired up about that, my job's to make them happy so we can make money off them and they'll return. So I'll apologize if needed. It's not necessary to apologize all the times. The vast majority of the customers, like 99% of the ones that I've interacted with in my past, have wanted me to fix the issue. I do that happily with a smile on my face. I might even give them extra. And that's the next thing I want you to know about in our class discussions. I want you to know the different types of customers. Some customers want you to fix the issue. That's me. Some customers want you to fix the issue and put some icing on top. I don't need anything for free. I just want the issue resolved so I can continue to conduct business with you and finish my transaction. Some customers are angry and like to be angry, and you're going to need to be prepared how to deal with them. I do not let anybody hurt staff where I am, verbally or physically, of course, because you're an extended branch of my family. That's how I operate wherever I am. It doesn't mean I have to like you, but I have to care about you enough to take care of you as I would my own family. So nobody will hurt the staff that I work with. And if that happens, I'll walk them out the door. But to be frank, I've walked 3 people out of the tens of thousands that I've interacted with, 3 people out the door in my entire career. And I remember saying all 3 times, I'm sorry that we couldn't make you happy. But then again, I think you know that you didn't come in here wanting to be happy. Let me get the door so it doesn't hit you in the fanny. And now I'll spend my energy on somebody who wants to purchase my product or service and have a good time, then likely come back. So let's look a little bit into the details of our class. Any questions? Well, okay then. You can see here that we have the course schedule listed here with the basic contact information for me and week by week steps for class activities and assignments. Notice that everything is due at 11:59 p.m. I recommend that you print this off and keep it. We have the syllabus as well. And I think the best value of the syllabus is that we have the required text as well as some other details, but the textbook can be purchased online or in paper form, whichever you prefer, and it's a great text. We also have another document that I hope will help, and I call it the Assignments and Grading Policy. It covers the chapters that we will cover, because we will not cover all of them. There'll be 10 altogether. It covers communication and what the expectations are. I would expect that anytime you email me, you'll email me in a professional manner, give me a subject info in the subject line and tell me what you're interested in. HOS 157, comma, quiz number 3, comma, question 2. Let me know that you did your research, you can't find the right answer, you think it's wrong. I'll be happy to research it with a smile on my face. But don't expect me to dig around forever if you're not providing me with all the information. Mr. Hallman had a question about the quiz. Which class, which quiz, which number? Give me information. Participation, pretty straightforward. We have tests, videos, and interaction with me. And we have an online participation agreement form that I'm going to ask you to fill out. I don't accept late work. Please keep that in mind. It's easier for me if I do, but the real world typically does not. And so this class is trying, in my opinion, I'm trying to give you 15 weeks of real world value as much as possible. No fluff, real world value, but that means that you're going to need to turn in work on time. If you have a doctor's note for you or your immediate family, I will bend over backwards to work with you. But if you wait till the weekend and your computer goes out, that's not really realistic. So plan in advance to get the work done. We have Greenville Tech support options listed for you here. But also consider me an option. I will bend over backwards to help you with any question that you have. If anything is not crystal clear, if you'd like me to look your work over before you submit it, I'd be happy to do that. If we could communicate over the phone and knock this out, I could look over your work, your entire project, and say, I love it, it looks great, you need to tweak this and change that, add a little bit more here, make sure you have a cover page, make sure that you spell check right over here, otherwise it looks great. Then I'd ask you, when you put it in the Dropbox, did you fix everything we talked about? Well, good, it's 100, not an A- or an A+, it's a 100 because I've already graded it and we already addressed the issues that need to be corrected. So under the Blackboard, we have the different tabs that we'll use, all listed on the left-hand side. I will communicate with you by email through Blackboard and through the announcements. We will have a Zoom meeting in the second week of class. It's voluntary. I'd like for you to try to make it if you can, because I think it will offer you the ability to interact with me and ask questions once you've looked over the class information. So for assignments, we have the discussions for most of the weeks, and they're on subjects that I think have value on this in the class. We will have several secret shopper reports too, actually, where you can choose the venue, but you will go and evaluate them based on your real world experience and the class information that you've covered. I'm asking that you include a copy of a receipt. Now, if you have an issue financially where you don't want to spend money at a fine dining or a casual dining or a quick service restaurant or even at a hotel, no issue with that at all. Just communicate with me and we'll work out a plan of action. But I would think that most of you could walk in to a establishment and order a coffee or a Coke while you're asking questions from the report. But you need to look over the reports to see which one best suits your coming schedule. Then just recap the 300 words, which is about a page of your experience overall. We're going to create an apology letter, which I think is vitally important. I have only found one person who did an outstanding job on an apology letter online, and it was a student of mine from the past. She was 19 years old, and she did a better job than the 45-year-old owner of the business. She coached him how to write the letter. She used positive language, and that's the real secret. You find the issue, you respond in a positive manner. Thank you for telling me about the experience. We appreciate that. Our job is to make you happy, so we will fix what you talked about here. We're going to retrain this person over here. This person is no longer with us. We reviewed our pricing based on your comments and found out actually we're right at smack in the middle of our competitors. So our prices will actually stay the same. But you're fixing or politely defending any comments that somebody brings up. You then ask them to come back because you have either fixed or politely defended what was brought to your attention, and you would offer them in written form a incentive for them to come back. You wouldn't do that if it was online because that incentive for them to come back, free dinner, free stay at our hotel, 25% off your next visit. That's an incentive for people to complain online. So again, this is solid gold in terms of your ability to positively resolve issues. I was going to quit our industry because I was so tired of apologizing all the time, and finally the scales, you might say, fell from my eyes after I had a staff member look over a letter of mine, and she said, "Blake, you write well, but it's very negative and very demeaning. You're apologizing for everything. Would you consider using positive language?" And it really just changed how I wrote. I can fix it. I will fix it happily. I won't fire somebody unless I feel it's justified. I might have to retrain them. I might just say, "Hey, Sparky, this person took that the wrong way. Please don't do that again." And we'll consider that training. But the point is that I address the issues so the customer will be happy enough to come back. And then I will offer them an incentive to come back, which means we don't make money for 25% off or a free room or a free meal. But if they continue to come back, then we make money. So that's the goal. We'll have a project. The project will be for you to basically create a service recovery plan for your business, your past business, or an approved location. And that is you deciding the biggest issue in your business, create a service guarantee, a service mission statement. What's our reason for operating in terms of customer service? We want to be the best in town, the best in the state, the best in the world. We want to make sure that every single guest leaves happy. What's your guarantee? We guarantee that our customers will leave happy. Boom, pretty easy. So clarify the issue, decide what the guidelines are for resolving your issue. Who knows about it? Is the staffer that's informed of the issue involved with the issue? Are they the ones that are empowered to fix it? How long is it to be expected to fix the issue? Immediately? By the end of the day? End of the night? I like Walmart's sundowner rule. Their sundowner rule says that we fix all issues before the sun goes down and before a customer goes to bed angry about what happened. Good policy. So again, who responds? My policy is simple. I like for the staffer involved with the issue to be empowered to fix it. The upper management then comes over later and is the icing on the cake to make sure everything was wonderful. And did Blake take good care of you? That's great. He's a great guy. I'm so glad you're having a good time. Thank you so much for coming in and being so understanding. Verbiage. Write down exactly what you expect the staff member to say. Create a guest-like acronym like we'll do in chapter 3. And then confirm that the guest will come back by writing a letter to ask them to return, like the apology letter, but a little bit more focused on thank you and coming back. Let's look at our master class 157. We have announcements where I will announce weekly information, instructor information, a little bit about me. I've got about 30 years experience in the industry, and I've been teaching as well in hospitality business courses for 20 years, and it's become something I really fell in love with. I like helping people. I like learning new things every day. It's not a bad combo. We have the syllabus and information, everything we just covered, and then some under Start Here, secret shopping templates, the apology letter information, and then course content. Weeks 1 through 14, and week 11 is spring break, so you probably shouldn't do any work then. Blackboard is new to me, so there may be a hiccup or two that you see. If so, I will bend over backwards again to work with you. I like this subject. I like working with people. If anything is not crystal clear, let me know, and we will work it out together. You can't ask me the wrong questions or too many questions unless you don't read the information first, and then that might be too many. But the point is, I'm here to help. If you have any questions, I will look forward to working with you.